Hey, this is Shenanya with Parenting Unlocked, where we help you take your kids from sippy cups to scholarship. Let's get into it. This is part two of a series about advanced placement, dual enrollment, and credit opportunities for students so they can get some college credit early. What I want to do first, though, is taking a quick recap of what we talked about last time. Last video, if you want to get the whole scoop, watch the video part one. But basically, what we did was to took a look at the costs and what it would cost for different types of universities and colleges, community colleges, private, public, and all that good stuff. What those costs broke down to. And we got a cost per credit. Each cost per credit is like a course, an AP course, dual enrollment course, or CLEP course, or any other option you can use. We wanted to dig deep into this video to get into the actual nuts and bolts about AP and advanced placements. Advanced placement is commonly known as AP. So you'll have it in high school. It's run by College Board, which is the organization that does the SATs, the ACTs, all kinds of certification, teaching certification, stuff like that. But we want to have a good understanding of who they are. They've been around for a long time. Just as long as you've heard of SAT, it's been around for a long time. One of their benefits is they are a standard test nationwide. Colleges know the caliber of the contents, and there's so much data. They have data for every year that they've had AP, and they've got questions. They know where to push students, where to expand and contract the content so that it aligns more with colleges. So they have relationships with the college universities as well as the AP instructors. It's a well-run system. And well established, the biggest distinction between AP and dual enrollment or other programs as well is it's a benefit because it all comes down to one test for credit. This is awesome if your student is a great test taker. I happen to be in the camp of being a good test taker, so this was great for me. Because it's all comes down to one test, it means that there's some flexibility, some option. That means students can take multiple APs. In fact, if their student has 6 classes, they could take 4 of them AP, but they could also do independent study and get additional AP credits based on the test themselves. One of the things that on the next benefit is not their first rodeo. College Board has been doing this for quite some time. If something comes up, they usually have an answer for it. And if something they've never seen before, they've got a team of folk to address it. A little background about me. I am the AP coordinator at my high school, and this is my second year doing that. Prior to that, I taught AP physics, so I'm familiar with the AP program. They have been working, and I've seen the progression of how they have delivered instruction in AP, and that has changed quite a bit. Another benefit of AP is that it's not too much demand on the student themselves. If a student expresses interest in taking an AP course, their counselors will help them get into the AP program. And fortunately, there are AP courses set up for ninth grade through 12th grade. Most of the AP courses are geared for upperclassmen, but they do have some for ninth graders as well. Another thing is it's an entire ecosystem for exam administration, meaning they've got hybrid exams, they got digital exams, all the details to make sure that the tests are secure, that they're administered, and you'll know the date, say school starts in August, in August when the dates for the exam are that are going to happen the following May. So everything is geared and it's kind of a funnel to make sure the students are prepared before the exam happens. There's options for independent study, exam-only options, which is great for homeschool students or anybody who's at a non-traditional school setting. It also works well if I took AP World History and I didn't do that great on the exam, but I think I know what I could improve on. There's an option for me to take it the next year as an exam-only option, and I can get credit, or the student can get credit at that point too. One of the biggest advantages is this website portal for students where they can see their AP course content. The content is out there. So everything that a person would need, especially if they're independent study or if they're in a classroom, regular classroom setting, like full-year class or even a half-year class, there is so much content. There's videos, practice, quizzes, questions, all kinds of content for all the courses, including practice exams. There are digital practice exams, so you don't have to print out on paper. There's a whole bunch of content on my AP that coordinates to make sure you get all the modules you need for a course before the exam happens. And that's something that the instructors are can assign questions, can assign assignments, videos, all that stuff using my AP. Now, obviously, if there's some benefits, there's always a yin and a yang. There's going to be some drawbacks of AP as well. It all comes down to one test. If you're not a great test taker, then this may not be the best option for you. In the 2.5 to 3.5 hours it's going to take you to prove that you know the material, that is too stressful or whatever, this is probably not the best program for you. But then don't worry, there's other options available. We'll get into those in our following videos in this series. The other thing is not quite the college experience. What that means is it could be possibly more difficult depending on how it's delivered than some college classes. And then the biggest drawback, I think, of AP courses is that not all colleges accept AP credit. The university that I went to, they said I took AP calculus, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's great and good. We're not going to give you that much credit because we want you to take AP calculus here with us at this engineering. That is something you have to take into account. There are several pros and cons. When I say it's not too much coordination on the part of the student, it means that they can take it on high school campus. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to travel anywhere. If you have a ninth grader, they don't have access to get to the community college or wherever they might be taking dual enrollment classes. That is something to keep in mind. It's very flexible, but granted that the student is a good test taker. The summary, though, is you got to know your higher education plan as early as possible. That means if you're going to plan to take AP credit or AP courses or credit, think about the things that can be used everywhere. Think about English language, English literature, the histories, some of the maths, possibly physics, some of the sciences that you could get credit for no matter where you go. But also, you got to check compatibility with the university that you plan to go to, find out what they accept, what they don't accept, and try to get that hashed out before you say, I'm going to take a class. I'm not saying that it's a waste to take an AP course if you don't get credit for it. It is rigor, it is challenging, so that is important, but you want to make it best bang for your buck. I do want to mention also, and I didn't put this on here, one of the benefits of AP for most schools, I'm not saying everybody, but for most schools, you get a grade bump for AP credit. That means, let's say you've got all A's. Typically, that's a 4.0. If some of those courses are AP, dual enrollment or IB, for instance, then that can serve as a boost to your GPA. So you could end up with a 4.3 or 4.5. AP is a wonderful option for students that do well in test taking scenarios, option for homeschool students, independent study students, because my AP content is so robust, but it's not for everybody. So you want to look at your options, you want to do a self-evaluation of the student, see what fits best for them. Also, the system that you're in, the school system that you're in, whether it be private or public school or charter, whatever it is, make sure that they can support it. My schools are fortunate. We have about 20 AP courses that students can choose from, but some schools only have a handful. That's something to keep in mind. What are the options available where you are? We're going to talk about dual enrollment. And one of the key moments where we actually ended up saving over $100,000 on our daughter's education just because of this one little tip. Had we not gone this route, we would have been out all those funds for scholarship. This is Chinanya with Parenting Unlocked. Hopefully, we are providing you information. If this is useful to you, send it to a friend, a neighbor, a coworker, anybody get use of this. And hopefully, we can help them go from sippy cups to scholarships. Y'all have a great evening. See you next time.